Hi, guys. So we've been talking about key information in our text or in our stories. So today we're going to do our read aloud a little bit differently than we usually do. Usually I will tell you what to write, or the reader will tell you what to write on your workbook pages or your answer sheets. But today it's kind of up to you. So I'm telling you right now that you're going to be writing the key information or the key ideas in the story. So you're going to pick out what the four most important things about the story are. So, like when I'm reading this to you, think about what the author really wanted you to get out of it. What did he or she really want you to know when you read this? So think about what the most important things are, and then you're going to write that on the right hand side of workbook page 13.1. So if you need to get out page 13.1 in your Unit 2 workbooks, you can right now. You can pause me to do that. Once you have it out, you know that you're going to only be writing in the four boxes on the right-hand side on that right column. So columns go up and down, remember? So the four boxes on the right side, they go up and down. And it's going to say, it's under the heading that says Jane Goodall Reading. Okay, so you're going to write the four most important things that you think the author wants you to get out of this story. So if you need to pause me during the story, you can. I'm just going to read through it, and then you can fill out the four most important information or key information facts that you find or you think that the story is about. There's not really any right or wrong answers as long as it is definitely an important part of the story. Okay, so you can follow along with me on the screen or in your readers. Some of you don't have your readers, so just follow along on the screen if you want to. And remember, pause me if you need to fill out your workbook page. Okay, chapter 14, Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall is a very famous primatologist. She is a scientist who studies a group of mammals called primates. So a primatologist is somebody who studies a group of mammals called primates. So she studies primates. Okay, so primates are a group of mammals that includes humans, monkeys, gorillas, and chimpanzees. Jane Goodall has spent her whole life studying chimpanzees. She is focused on studying animal behavior in chimpanzees. Her discoveries have made her one of the best known scientists in the world. Goodall was born in 1934 in London, England. When she was a little girl, her father gave her a toy chimpanzee. It looked so real that people who visited her house were afraid of it, but she loved it. When Goodall was 23, she went to Africa. She began studying chimpanzees with a well-known scientist named Louis Leakey. After a year of working in Africa, Goodall went back to England and studied at the University of Cambridge. Can you guess what her favorite subject was? Chimpanzees. Okay, so she's always loved studying chimpanzees. Okay. After finishing school, let me turn the page for you. There we go. Okay, after finishing school, Goodall returned to Africa and spent the next 45 years studying chimpanzees in the wild. Her discoveries during those years completely changed the way people think about primates. Before Goodall's work, people thought chimpanzees were herbivores. So she discovered that they eat meat too. So they're not herbivores, right? If they also eat meat, they're omnivores, right? Because they eat both plants and animals. More importantly, Goodall discovered that chimps were quite intelligent. She observed them making and using tools. Before that, people thought humans were the only animals that made and used tools. When you hear the word tool, you may think of a hammer, saw, or shovel. Chimps don't use those kinds of tools. A tool is something used to help make a job easier. Tools can be very simple. A rock becomes a tool if you pick it up and use it to crack open a walnut. All right, and then under that picture, the caption says, Goodall studies chimpanzees, a type of mammal belonging to the primate group. Okay, so don't forget, if you need to pause me, make sure you're doing that to fill in some answers. If you want to do that at the end, that's fine too. Okay. Goodall observed chimps using blades of grass and sticks as tools. Chimps like to eat termites a type of insect that is like an ant. Termites live in a hole underground, or live in holes underground. To catch these tasty insects, Goodall observed a chimp sticking a blade of grass into a termite hole. Termites crawled onto the grass. Then the chimp took the grass out of the hole and ate all of the termites. Before Goodall before Goodall wrote about this behavior, people did not realize how clever chimps and other primates are. Goodall gave names to all the chimps in the group she was studying. She got to know them pretty well. Over time, she learned that chimps were smart animals. She learned that chimps express many of the same feelings as people. They can feel happy, sad, and mad. Can also be mean. Goodall saw them attack and eat small monkeys, not out of hunger, but because they didn't want them around. That's sad. Okay, and then under the photo, the caption says, "A chimpanzee uses a plant stem as a tool." Goodall is more than a scientist. She is also an activist. An activist is someone who works hard to solve a problem and change something in the world. Goodall works as an animal rights activist to protect chimpanzees and their habitats. She tells others about human damage to habitats, such as hunting and pollution, and works to stop these problems. She loves working with young people and teaching them how to protect animals. She has written many books and has been the subject of books and movies. She has won many awards for her work in protecting chimpanzees. As of 2015, she was 81 years old and still working to spread the message that animals need to be protected. And then under the picture, the caption says, "Jane Goodall continues to work as an animal rights activist." So an activist is someone who works hard to solve a problem and change something in the world. And it told us that right up here. An activist is someone who works hard to solve a problem and change something in the world. Okay, and that's the end of our chapter. So if you need to rewatch this to fill in your 4 key information facts, then you can. If you already did that, awesome. Make sure you're bringing it back to me tomorrow at school